Most people looking at tonight's Indiana Fever vs Chicago Sky matchup are seeing one thing: a double-digit favorite and a struggling Chicago team. But what if the biggest story isn't the point spread at all? What if the real story is what this game could reveal about Caitlin Clark, the Fever, and whether Indiana is actually ready to become the contender so many people expected before the season started? Because the deeper you look into this matchup, the more interesting it gets. And by the end of this video, there's one statistic that might completely change the way you see tonight's game. Hey everyone, welcome back to Unix Media. I'm Sagar. Coming into the season, the Indiana Fever were viewed by many as a legitimate championship threat. Expectations were sky high. Caitlin Clark was entering another season under an even brighter spotlight, and fans believed this team was ready to take the next step. But things haven't exactly gone according to plan. Indiana has been inconsistent, going just 2-3 over its last 5 games, and several of those contests were much closer than fans expected. In fact, their most recent win against Washington came down to a clutch Caitlin Clark three-pointer with just seconds remaining. The Fever got the victory, but it also raised questions. Is Indiana finding ways to win? Or are they letting weaker opponents hang around longer than they should? Now this is where things get interesting. Tonight's opponent, the Chicago Sky, enters the game in a completely different situation. Chicago has lost 7 of its last 8 games and has been hit hard by injuries. The loss of Rickea Jackson has been especially devastating. Before her injury, she was leading the team in scoring and providing stability on both ends of the floor. Since then, the Sky have struggled to find consistency, and the results have reflected that. But here's where the story changes. Despite all of Chicago's struggles, games like this can become dangerous. When expectations are low, teams often play with less pressure and more urgency. And if there's one thing sports fans know, it's that desperate teams can be unpredictable. Still, the spotlight remains firmly on Caitlin Clark. Every game she plays becomes a national conversation. Whether it's her performance, her leadership, her intensity, or reactions from fans and media, Clark remains one of the biggest stories in all of sports. And lately, people have been debating whether she's fully back to her dominant form after dealing with physical setbacks earlier in the season. The good news for Fever fans is that Clark appears to be playing her normal workload again. She's seeing major minutes, impacting games in multiple ways, and doing much more than simply scoring points. Her rebounding numbers have quietly become one of the most overlooked parts of her game. While opponents focus on stopping her offensively, she continues finding ways to influence possessions all over the floor. And honestly, that matters more than many people realize. The Chicago Sky have struggled on the glass throughout the season. Rebounding has been one of their biggest weaknesses, and that creates opportunities for versatile players like Clark to make an impact beyond scoring. It's one of those hidden areas that rarely gets headlines but often determines who controls the pace of a game. At the same time, Chicago's defense does have one strength. They've done a respectable job limiting three-point shooting compared to several other teams around the league. That creates an intriguing chess match. Will Clark attack from deep, or will she adjust and focus more on playmaking, driving, and creating opportunities for teammates? That question could end up deciding the entire flow of the game. And then there's the psychological side. The Fever haven't had many opportunities to settle into a rhythm at home recently. Returning to Gainbridge Fieldhouse gives them a chance to reset, build confidence, and remind everyone why expectations were so high in the first place. A convincing win could silence a lot of criticism and create momentum heading into the next stretch of the season. But if the game is closer than expected, the conversation surrounding Indiana will only get louder. That's why tonight feels bigger than just another regular season matchup. For Chicago, it's a chance to prove they still have fight despite injuries and setbacks. For Indiana, it's an opportunity to show they can dominate a team they're expected to beat. And for Caitlin Clark, it's another chapter in a season where every performance seems to generate headlines. By the time the final buzzer sounds, we may have a much clearer picture of who these teams really are. Will the Fever finally start building momentum? Can Chicago shock everyone and pull off the upset? Or will Caitlin Clark once again deliver the kind of performance that keeps the entire basketball world talking? Let me know your prediction in the comments right now. Do you think the Fever win comfortably, or does Chicago make this game much closer than expected? And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Unix Media, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest sports stories and breaking updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.